Good morning, everyone. On today's show, we're taking a step back to calm down, relax, have a nice day of normalcy. And what I mean by that is, today we're going to be talking about a lot of positive stuff. I'm going to be doing a gaming schedule update where we're going to be going through all of the game releases for the rest of the year, or at least those that have solid release dates. And we're going to be looking at the ones that I'm most interested in, so that you will know what games I'm playing and when to tune in. Also, I'm excited to announce that I have received some merchandise samples from a company that I've been in talks with over the last couple of weeks about the possibility of making me some merch again for the first time in many, many years. And so what we're going to do today is sit down and take a look at this and see what you guys think. Obviously, I want to get some public opinion on, quality and if you're interested, and go from there. Plus, we'll talk about, the week coming up and everything. It's going to be a nice, relaxing, normal, calm podcast day. Alrighty then. All this and more on today's episode of the Level 1 Podcast. Alrighty, everybody. Today is Sunday, the 15th of September, 2024, React Day, here in my content where I take a day away from gameplay, excuse me, to do some different kind of stuff, reacting to some clips that you guys submitted over on the DSP Reacts channel for my show DSP versus the Internet. And also later tonight, a very laid-back, interactive, and chill stream where we go back to the past of my content creation from way back when, where in a retro react stream, I'll be reacting to my Resident Evil 1 Director's Cut playthrough from PS1 from way back in 2013. So a good day of different style of content, right? And that's a good thing to break it up a little bit. I've now been doing 3 straight days of gameplay. It's always good to mix it up. And quite honestly, I'm glad that today is going to be a much more chill, interactive podcast stream. And what I mean by that, I don't have any kinds of dramatic topics to talk about today. We've got no interviews lined up for today. Today is going to be a day of kind of sitting back and saying, all right, let's just enjoy each other's company. Let's chill a bit, right? Let's have a more metered approach to content creation. I've been getting some feedback recently. Some people really like me talking about detractors and drama and things like that. And others don't. And I get it because, I feel like we got to find that happy medium. Right? We got to find that level of balance so that you guys are entertained, but it's not too much. It's not over the top cringe. All right. For example, already I can tell you there's stuff I could be talking about today right now. Stuff that the people who are the drama hounds were like, oh, yeah, let's get to it. But I was like, nah, I think today we want to definitely take the step back and just kind of relax rather than, keep leaning into it as hard as I have been, particularly this week. So I think it's time to chill with Phil here on the Level 1 Podcast. Now, if you're okay with that, stick around and welcome. If you're not okay with that and you're upset, sorry, don't worry. I'm sure there's going to be some coming up. In fact, like I said, there's stuff that will be build. You know what I mean? It's kind of like I said, that kind of stuff is for when there's really nothing going on and, you want to have content, but, then you lean into it. Not something that you do every single day, because then it becomes all-encompassing, right? It becomes the end-all, be-all of who you are and what you do with content, and I don't want that to happen. I want to be the person I've been for 16 years, loving games, chilling and relaxing, and having a good interaction with all of you every day, without having that negative element all the time. Not to say that it's not fun to do it every once in a while. I do, actually, Like I said, right now, there's 2 different things going on that absolutely I could talk about this entire show. But, nah, I don't want to go too much heavy into it because then it becomes too much. So, I hope you understand that, where I'm coming from. And again, if not, well, I'll welcome you back when I get back to that stuff. Okay? Cool. All right. And by the way, I'm sure people will be bringing it up. I'm sure today there's going to be people asking questions or saying, hey, did you hear about this? Or what about this? I got it, And that's fine. If you want to bring stuff up, we can do that. But just understand that I'm not going heavily into it today whatsoever, all right? It's not off limits for discussion. It's just I have other things to do that I feel are just a lot more interesting and important to cover, gaming first, right? Okay. Oh no, again, CJ Johnson, he says, so there's no drama to talk about? No, there's tons. Like, no lie, there's actually tons. Stuff has happened that people already know about because these people who were involved are just so silly. They publicly announce things stupidly instead of just doing them and keeping them behind the scenes like they should. They publicly announce everything because they're doing it for attention, you see? Like me, I told you guys, I've been reaching out to a whole bunch of people across the internet to see if they want to come and be a part of my content, whether it's for collabs, whether it's for an interview on the show. Have I told you all the people who I've messaged in our conversations? Of course not. For me, it's like you keep that stuff behind the scenes, under wraps, until it's going to happen. And then you say, hey, guys, so just so you know, now this is happening, and here we go. These people, they just can't keep their lips shut about stuff. You know what I'm saying? And by the way, no, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, because I guess someone literally, as I was saying this, someone just said in chat, Wings on level 1 soon, he confirmed. That's not what I'm talking about. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, is he sneak dissing Wings of Redemption? No, I'm not. That's actually not what I'm addressing here. What I'm talking about is people, like, they blab about stuff, like the dumbest stuff publicly, like it's important. Like, oh, I sent someone a DM. That's your topic for today? Really? You see, even think about that. What? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what are you talking about? But anyway. All right. So we'll get to these topics today as appropriate. But like I said, this is not the focus of my stuff today. I have other things to do that are going to be way more positive and fun. Okay? Exactly. Huh? Exactly right. That should be your reaction. Huh? Wait, someone is like bragging about sending someone a DM? Yes. But it's neither here nor there. Like I said, it's not what I want to talk about today. Okay. So before we get started, because we have a few things to do, I want to recap what we did yesterday and where we are with all our current games that we're playing, because I want people to have an update on when I'm playing what and, what's interesting right now. And then we're going to do the merch. We'll look at the merch that has showed up, and then we'll do the gaming schedule update, okay? I have a couple shout outs to do, and I just want to say, everyone, thank you so much. King Streak at 9 and continuing. 9 straight streams yet again, where we are crushing it and hitting the King's Tips goal every single stream. It's amazing because, again, we were at 41, and then it ends because of Black Myth Wukong. And I said to everyone, yeah, but I don't feel like the positivity has ended. I just think it was the game. And the thing is, I think we will have those blips where we'll have a day where there's nothing really going on, or a game is underwhelming and everyone leaves. And there's nothing you can really do about that except come back strong again, which is exactly what I did. And now here we are. Boom. Yesterday, we actually had a feasting with the king. This awesome Mediterranean food platter that I ate that was super good. And we had fun discussion while I was eating. And it went really well. If you didn't see that, that video is over on DSP Reacts if you want to watch it. A huge gyro, or as they say, Ito. That's how you actually pronounce it, like Ito. And it was super good. So give it a watch if you haven't yet. People love watching it and making fun of how I eat, saying that I look like I'm weird when I eat. So there you go. So anyway, now, today, all right, we got some good stuff going on, and I'm hoping we can keep the King Streak going. All right? I've always said that this entire time it was happening over the last month, because now it's been almost pretty much a month that this King Streak has been going on. It's always Sunday I'm the most nervous about. Why? It's not that I'm not confident in my content. It's not that I don't think that this is entertaining and people like it and will support it. It's that Sunday is my day away from my normal routine. I break off from doing gameplay and the like to do a react show, and it's a different audience. I feel like a lot of the people who watch my clip show or hang out with me for the retro replay on Sunday nights is not the regular audience that comes by and maybe listens to the podcast or watches me game on my regular streams. It's a different audience, and that's good and bad. I definitely know there's less attendance on Sundays always. I mean, even in the height of me being with all the stuff last month, right, when I was like big spike in popularity, even the Sundays were still slow when it came to like attendance and stuff. You know what I mean? So for me, it's always been Sunday where I'm like, this King Streak will end. But it has continued. Like Sunday, it was not what killed it. It was Black Myth Wukong, of all things. So today, if you enjoy the content, if you're happy that we're being more relaxed, more focused on games today for the podcast, and then chill stuff for the React stuff. Please support the streams. All right, and you know how to do it. You know, liking the stream is a huge help, so please like the stream if you haven't yet. Let's get it up to 100 likes. Right now, we're currently at 36. Let's get that to 100 likes. We've got 250 viewers and climbing, so let's get that to 100 likes. The engagement, again, helps tremendously on this channel, so please do so. And in regards to support, everything's been great recently. Super chats, memberships, and tips. Everything. No complaints whatsoever from me. But let's keep the King Streak going. So if you like the content, please support it. We actually have a couple quick shout outs to do for tips this morning, and then we're going to get into the meat of the show. Okay? So we started off with a $2 tip. This person says, you know, I've never played a Warhammer game before, and I'm curious. Is it worth getting? Is it fun? And do you need to know anything about lore before you would actually, like, buy a Warhammer game? Well, I've only played 2 Warhammer games. The first was Space Marine 1, which was in 2011, right? Like, super long ago. And then, of course, we got this current one that I'm playing right now. And, I mean, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think any prerequisite knowledge of Warhammer is really necessary to play the Warhammer games. I sure have had an easy time just jumping in and enjoying it, right? Like, I haven't had any difficulty, you know, getting it. At the same time, I do have a live audience, and they're awesome, and they try to explain elements of the game to me as I'm playing it. Like, for example, the whole lore of how these Space Marines and humanity is in the Warhammer universe, and that they're almost like a cultish religion where it's like you believe what we believe. If you don't, you're our enemy, you're a heretic, right? And how there's different factions within that are doing things. Like yesterday, we encountered a group that are involved with chaos, right? I don't know what that is, and the game honestly hasn't really explained it, but my audience is like, oh no, you see, chaos is like this alternate dimension, almost like hell, and people dabble in it, and whenever they have an interaction with it, they kind of get corrupted by it, and then they become part of that group, and then they fight the other humans. Okay, well, now I get it. The game didn't really explain all of that, but having that alternate explanation has helped a ton, and it makes the game more enjoyable, right? So yeah, I would say if you have, you know, a source of lore available, like, you know, if you have a website or you know, some kind of a resource where you can look that stuff up as you're playing the game, it'll probably make the game better, right? Because you'll understand better what's going on. But for the most part, I think it would still be an enjoyable game, even if I didn't understand the lore. Like, Space Marine 2 plays like Gears of War, but it has a better melee combat system, right? And it's just, it's a throwback is really what it is. It plays like 10 years, well, actually, what was it, 13 years ago? Yeah, geez, it was 2011 when Space Marine 1 came out, right? At that time, we were in the height of Gears of War's popularity. We were still in the original trilogy of Gears of War before it got sold off, right? So in that time frame, to have a game like Space Marine come out, but it played like Gears of War, people liked it because it was Warhammer, but I feel like it didn't necessarily get as much focus or attention as it would have if it wasn't in the midst of the actual Gears games being out, right? So now fast forward 13 years later and Space Marine 2 is out, the game feels like a throwback. It feels like there are no games like this anymore because there hasn't been a Gears of War game in like 5 years, right? There aren't these team-based shooter-style games out anymore. Instead, everything went open world, and you have to explore a ginormous map with 400 points of interest and 700 side missions that are all boring and grindy and stupid. Games really went that way last console gen. So to play a game like this, it's more on rails, it's more about surviving waves of enemies and doing objectives with some lore and story tied in, you know, it actually feels refreshing. In some cases, less is more, and in the case of Space Marine 2, that's definitely the situation. Because it's scaled back and plays more like a basic game than we're used to, it actually is fun and it works. And I think that more game devs should maybe look at this formula and be like, you know, there was nothing wrong with yesteryear. It's just that people wanted more because they said, oh, consoles are advancing, you know, PCs are advancing. Why can't we have bigger open world games? So then everyone made one. But now that's kind of played out. We kind of want to go back maybe to the formulas that worked and we really enjoyed, right? And that's what Space Marine 2 feels like. So, no, you don't need prerequisite knowledge, but if you have a source of lore or something you can draw upon, get more information as you're playing, it'll probably enhance your experience. But for me, I'm really liking the game, and I don't really understand half the lore, and I'm still liking it. It's still great, good graphics, good, solid gameplay elements, interesting, gameplay. When it comes to like these new enemies, I just ran into the new enemy type yesterday, and it's really cool. So good experience for me. All right, cool. By the way, from what I understand, Space Marine 2 is really a co-op game. Like, I'm playing it solo, but it's designed to be a co-op game with two other people. That's why it has a whole online missions system that are based around co-op. So if you're getting it, you might want to understand that really you're going to get your bang for your buck if you have friends to co-op in it. If you don't, I mean, people are saying the campaign's like 10 hours long. So you might just beat the campaign and be like, now what do I do? Right? You don't want to be stuck like that. So just so you know what you're getting into. Okay? Okay. And I received a $1 tip here from Squirting Clown Diarrhea. All right, great. All right, so that person's back. All right, anyway, thanks for the $1 tip. All right. So let's get to our topics at hand. First topic today, okay, is I just want to briefly recap where we are with all the games that I'm currently playing so that you guys know what's going on and what's on the horizon. The good news is right now, I have no plans to do anything new for over a week. The next new thing that's coming out that I'm interested in jumping into is Terry Bogard, the next expansion character for Street Fighter 6. I will be checking him out when he releases. I will be playing with him, seeing online how he plays, and I'll determine if I like him enough that I want to try to get him to master rank or not. Okay, right now, I'm interested in him. I like Terry Bogard from Fatal Fury / King of Fighters. I've played with him before, so I understand his elements of how to use him. But I'm not sure how he's going to translate into Street Fighter. For me, I would sure like a character that has a good reversal wake up so I can like get out of the corner. Like every character, just think about this. I play with Dalsim. I play with Honda. I play with Zangief, right? Lily. Blanca and Bison, right? So all those characters, literally not one of them has a true wake-up reversal to get you out of the corner. The best would be Blanca, but even his, you can jump at a certain angle so it whiffs. Everyone else there basically either doesn't have a good reversal or the reversal gets stuffed easily by a throw or, So it sure would be great to have a character that people who are like attacking me and rushing me down that I could just do like, oh, look, EX reversal, rising tackle, and it blows through their bullshit and I can get them off me. Because I don't have a character that can do that right now, so I'm always at this like disadvantage against Rushdown. So I guess we'll see. But that's like the next major thing. And then after that, near the end of the month, I may be checking out a few other things. But that's pretty much the schedule for now, okay? So just FYI, that's the plans. So I'm focusing on the stuff I'm focusing on right now, and that's what I'm going to be doing for about a week and a half until this happens. So what is that? Well, number one, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection came out a few days ago. And I played it for 2 straight days, and I liked it, but there's some issues with the collection that definitely need addressing. Number one, undoubtedly, is the matchmaking. It just doesn't work right. You're supposed to be able to jump in and either get a casual match or a ranked match. You're supposed to be able to make a lobby, and the stuff doesn't really work. Like, it's completely hit or miss if you can get a match or not, which is hilarious because thousands of people bought this on PC. At one point, they were saying over 5,000 people had bought it on launch day. So why doesn't this thing find anyone, right? Like, sometimes you'll go and immediately you'll find a match, no problem. And another time you'll go to find a match and you'll sit there for 10 minutes, you can't find anyone. What? And especially does it make sense because it's Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is the game most people want to play because it's the most recent one in the collection. But it's the one that works the worst. You just can't find consistent matches. So that's frustrating. Here's everyone thinking, oh, free MVC2. It's going to be finally available to the masses. It's going to be exposed to so many new people. And this collection comes out and it's not really working. And it's like, well, how do you F that up so bad? You knew there was massive hype for this and it could reinvigorate the fighting game community in a way that hasn't been, addressed in a decade. And then you botch it? Yeah, they botched it. I mean, I don't even know how else to say it. It's a really botched launch. They've effed it up. I don't know how they did it so bad. I played it for 2 days and I enjoyed myself. But basically, the entire situation was hit or miss. Now, the other problem with that collection is, quite frankly, those games were not built for online rollback netcode, all right? There's times when you'll be playing those games, and if you're facing anyone who's doing, like, Rushdown, you'll try to block, and the game just will give up and make you take a hit. It's just dumb. Like, no, I'm not kidding you. There were times I'm just sitting there just holding back or down back, and the game just gave up and I took a hit and got a comboed. And I'm like, wait, I'm not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand. What is going on here? There's times I'm on the character select screen, and this happened a ton of times. I'm on the character select screen. I go to a character and I push the button. Nothing happens at all. You dropped my input picking my character, and that happened a bunch. That wasn't like, oh, a one-off thing. It kept happening. And I'm like, dude, that is terrible. That is like the worst sign that your netcode is bad, that you can't pick a fucking character. Like, huh? So, I'm sorry, but that's just not a good sign of a well-made collection, or they're using the same rollback netcode and it doesn't work with this game. I'm sorry. I just find it very, very frustrating, okay, that people don't address this shit. How are you not going to admit that the games aren't built for this and act like this is, I mean, is it the best collection of this so far? It probably is. I remember trying to play the MVC collection from over a decade ago, and every match was like you were playing underwater. It was slow-mo, everything was delayed. That was delay-based netcode. So at least now when you're playing, it's a semblance of that it's working. But dude, when every time something matters and you try to do it and it doesn't come out, like, fuck this. It's just too frustrating to get so many dropped inputs in a game that requires precision. And once again, this netcode 100% favors a certain style of play, constant rush down. Because if you're constantly rushing down, the netcode is predictive. So it thinks, oh, you're just going to keep pushing buttons, you're going to keep attacking. As opposed to someone who needs to quickly block on reaction or quickly do a move to blow through the rush down, it'll drop that input. Because the predictive netcode doesn't side with that style of play. So if you're a rush down beast, okay, you're going to be, oh, I'm dominating everyone. Yeah, because no one can block what you're doing, dude. That's why. It has nothing to do with it because you're such fucking god to gaming. It's because the game isn't working right, so you can't defend against it. I mean, there were people back in the day who were very defensive. They were very hard to break their armor. So rushdown didn't work against them. Now it doesn't matter. Like, you can't stop the rushdown online, especially because you got teleporting and shit too. The characters are just like, well, I'll give you an example. So I was playing Marvel vs. Capcom 1. And there's unblockables in that game. As a character is coming in, if you beat their first character and their second character is coming in, you can jump and hit them with something. And if they block it, okay, now when their block releases in midair, they can't block again. So it's you create an unblockable setup, all right? So I'm Hulk. I'm fighting a Spider-Man. I jump and I kick him. He blocks. I land. I go to do my super. That should be unblockable. The game shows him throwing me on the ground. He's in the air in an unblockable state, and the game says, oh no, he's on the ground and he threw you. The fuck is that? I mean, that's just completely unacceptable for any kind of a competitive situation. And that's what I'm getting in competitive matches in that game. It's like, can you take it seriously when that's how it is when you play it online? Like, when it happens, you're like, man, I really don't want to play anymore. You know, because I like the games. I just don't want to be cheated out of competitive play because the netcode doesn't favor this kind of game. It just doesn't. You know, more modern fighting games were designed with this in mind. And so they have different kinds of buffering and, you know, the moves are different. These games are designed for offline play in an arcade with precision inputs, not teleporting, skipping, bullshit. So it's just frustrating. So I like the collection, but if they want this to be successful, they have to fix it right away. And just so everyone knows, they did actually go up on social media like a day ago, and they posted up, we are acknowledging that there is an issue, and we're working into fixing it. But they haven't done anything yet. To my knowledge, there's been no patch or anything. So here you are. It came out Thursday. It's Sunday, and you haven't even done, done anything yet. You know what I'm talking about? So, hopefully, we will get a solution for this because I want to play it more. But I'm going to be honest, it's making me not want to play it right now. If I'm going to sit there and I can't get matches and I can't play the games I want to play, it's just going to frustrate me. I want to put out an entertaining stream, and I can't do that if we're playing the waiting game, right? And of course, some people are like, well, go back to Street Fighter 6. I'm like, well, I don't want to go back to Street Fighter 6 right away. We're playing that on the 24th when Terry Bogard comes out. So I don't want to go back to Street Fighter 6 right away just because this thing has some matchmaking issues. I want to hope that I can get matches, you know? So anyway, I'm going to continue to play the MVC collection. I am playing it more later this week, actually. I think we're playing it, excuse me, Thursday night. I think we're going to play it Thursday night, okay? All right, now, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, I think I've already spoken to it, so I don't really need to talk about it again. I do like the game. It's a total throwback. I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 5.5 hours, 6 hours into the campaign. I was told the campaign's about 10 hours long. I don't know if that entails 1 or 2 more streams for me. I'm thinking probably 2, right? I'm probably thinking I'm going to play it again tomorrow, and then I'll probably play it again like Thursday, and I might beat the campaign then, right? Now, as for online co-op, I don't think I'm going to be doing it. You know, I made it clear for everyone that I was going to play this game as a single-player offline campaign. I wasn't really interested in the online co-op grinding stuff. So probably that'll be the extent of it for me. But it's been great, and I can't wait for more. And Astrobot also, it's a delightful platformer. It really feels kind of like the same vein as Super Mario 3D Land, 3D World, or Odyssey. Tons of optional content that make the game way more challenging if you're going for 100%. But if you're just cruising through the worlds, it's a delight. You know, the music and everything. It's been quite good. So I really like the game. I'm looking forward to more, and I'm actually playing that again as the main stream on Tuesday. And people are saying it's around like 15 to 20 hours long, depending on how much content you do. Well, I'm only like 5 hours in. So I definitely have a ways to go in that one. That's going to be one that I'll be juggling around for a bit, for a couple of weeks probably at least. Okay? Cool. So by the way, all the gameplay of all that is live on the channel. We had 2 straight days of MVC2 collection. We got new gameplay of Warhammer that went live overnight, and we have new Astrobot gameplay that went live overnight. So it took a little bit longer to get that gameplay up, and the reason being because yesterday I went later to do the Feasting with the King episode, and then by the time I went offline, which was almost 5 p.m., there's no way I was going to get all that gameplay and the podcast and the Feasting episode all uploaded within 2 hours. It wouldn't even upload that fast. So I said, I'll hold off on the gameplay, and then I uploaded all the gameplay overnight. But now what happened is the channel got bombarded with videos. So now people are probably like, oh, why do you upload 5 gameplay videos, plus all the highlights, plus all this at once? But what was I going to do? Right, not much I can do. Today, this channel will have no real new content besides this podcast. You know, this today's React Day. So hopefully today we'll give everyone a chance to come to the channel and get kind of caught up on everything. Okay? Cool. All right. So, that's what's going on with all the games I'm currently playing. I will be going back to Street Fighter 6 soon when Terry comes out. Now, after that happens, the question is what's next? Well, that's what we're going to tackle in a minute, because we're going to go through a gaming schedule update. We're actually going to look at the rest of the year, and we're going to see what games are coming out that you guys can know what to expect here on the channel. And I'm actually doing this directly as a request from someone yesterday. Yesterday, someone said, hey, you know, what games are you playing? Because you haven't talked about it in a very long time. And I said, you know, that's a good point. It's been probably months since I did like an update like this. That's why we're doing this today. It makes sense to do it and put it. I'll do it as a highlight. That's a separate video, so people can check out just that video if they want to see for the rest of 2024 what I'm going to be playing. Okay. But before we get to that, I would like to get to our next topic. All right. And our next topic today is a very positive one, a very fun one. Now, we have over 300 viewers on the stream, everybody. If you're here and you're chilling and you're enjoying the chill vibes today, please like the stream. We're at 56 likes. Let's get that to 100. I know we can get 100 likes easily. That helps the channel tremendously. Getting this engagement has been great. So please like the stream. Outside of that, please support the content. Super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, and tips all are appreciated. Right now, we have no super chats, no memberships of any kind. And we had 2 small tips amounting to $3. I actually did not update this. It's $3. Today, we obviously want to keep the King streak alive. It would be great if we could actually hit the King's Tips goal or get relatively close to it before this podcast ends. Because like I said, if it's going to end this streak, I think it would end on a Sunday, like a React Day. I really feel strongly that that's what's going to happen because these are the slower days. So if you like this stuff, please support it. Let's get some support going now so that we can roll into the React show positively. All right? All right, so on to the next topic. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been around for 16 years. In the 16 years that I've been a content creator, I've had many different generations of people who have liked my content. And I've actually gone through many different companies and stuff in regards to making merch and the like. Ages ago, I used to use this website called Cafe Press, okay? And then the more recent one that I used was called Teespring, which now they're not even called that anymore. They rebranded to call themselves Spring. And then they changed their entire methodology of their site to be political. I hate to say that, but they did because of what happened to me. I know for a fact. So I've had merch over the years. In reality, I've never actually had any merchandise to make money. The reason that I originally started getting merch back in the day is because people kept asking me for it. They were like, Phil, would you have merchandise for your fans? Because we'd maybe like a collectible of something of our favorite content creator. And I was actually resistant to it at first, but then people kept pressing me on it and said, we would just really like it. I said, all right. So I went to this Cafe Press website, and I had merchandise that was like some basic t-shirts, some mugs, stickers, and stuff like that. I even still have a Stein that has the old Dark Side Phil logo and everything on it downstairs. I still have it in my cabinet in my kitchen cupboard. So it was cool, but I never really sold too much of it. I think there was like one burst of sales. Like, I'm talking, this is like back in 2010 or something like that. Okay. And then after that, I never really maintained it that much. I think someone actually hacked the site at one point. So I ended up just closing the whole thing. Like, I didn't work on it. I didn't add new products. It just sat there. Okay. I didn't even advertise it that much ever. Okay. When I really got into merch the second time was when I became a full-time live streamer in 2017. Because at that point, I became a lot more social with the audience. And people wanted to hang out with me more and have conversations. And because of that, they liked the content. They were like, hey, it would be great if you had merch. And at first, once again, I'm kind of resistant because I don't really know how it's going to work. Teespring reached out to me, okay? This company actually contacted me and said, hey, we see that you're a full-time streamer now. We know who you are. We know about your audience. We know that they want merch, and we'd like to make a shop for you and basically design products. And they did. They actually designed several different products, one of which was the I'm pushing buttons design, which is just like random directions and buttons that looks like it's like the readout from a fighting game, right? So that was one that they made. They made a couple. They made 2 or 3 different designs for me. But the I'm pushing buttons one was the only one that people ever liked and it like sold. But then what it is, I gave them some logos that I had from over the years, and other people designed things for me, and I put them up on the site. And I had various levels of success. I think the most successful one I ever had was the logo with the king. It was like a skull with a crown on it. And I did various different colors and designs. People like to buy different shirts and stuff with that design. People really liked certain designs that the fans had submitted and stuff. So, again, the only reason I ever really had the Teespring was because it was fan, requested. I didn't make a lot of money on it. I actually had pricing. If I remember, I would try to price my shirts to be around $20, and the profit margin was like $1 to $2 per shirt, depending on the quality of the shirt you selected. So I made nothing on it. Like, I think the highest month ever, I made like $300, and that was like because there was real demand. And then after that, it just petered right off, and I made like $10 a month, if that, on it moving forward. So it was never a big deal to me or anything like that. So after a while, I'll be honest, it got dusty. It fell into disrepair, much like my other merch shop did. Didn't really talk about it that much. And then one day, about 3 years ago, I even forget if it was 2021 or 2022, but it was the same year that the whole thing happened with Returnal, where I quit. I quit Twitch. When was that? What year was Returnal? Dude, time flies. Let me see. It was 2021. Holy shit. It was 3 years ago. So that same year that I was playing Returnal, because I always remember that because it was when everything hit the fan all at once. One day I'm streaming and someone says to me, hey, Phil, are you aware that your merch shop is gone? And I was like, no, because I never check it. Like, I literally never check the thing because no one buys anything from it, and I don't really add new products. So I didn't know that. So I go to look at it, and it is gone. It's just like missing, like page not found. So I go to log in, and it says, error, contact support. So I wrote them asking what gives. Now, at this point, I didn't even realize they had changed their business. They're not called Teespring anymore. They were called Spring. They were rebranding. And what they were doing is they were systematically starting to kick people off the site who they deemed like weren't in their own ideology, which is insane to me. I want you to think about that. So what ended up happening in 2021, my trolls formulated this like manifesto package of negative stuff about me. It was like a reel of the worst moments of DSP. It had the awful jokes from the Dead Space 2 demo from 2010, and it had racial comments from other videos from like 2009, 2010. And they put it all together, and then they said, look, Phil owns a website called thekingofhate.com. He's a racist, and he's a sexist, and he's a bigot, and this is who you have on your site. And they sent that to Twitch, which got me kicked out of the Twitch partner program. They sent that to various different payment processors, various different websites where you can integrate with streaming, and they sent it to Teespring, right? Well, now Spring. And Spring, rebranding and wishing to have a new image, okay, decided on a whim without even contacting me to talk about it that I was not fit for their site, and they removed my shop. Now, I want you to think about this. They created the shop. They created the product. In 2017, they were the ones who recruited me, well knowing about my past. They were okay with it. 4 years later, they decide to rebrand and change their business model completely, and now they kick me off the site, even though I wasn't even doing anything. I wasn't selling merch. You could say, well, maybe you uploaded an offensive product. I hadn't uploaded products in like a year, so it doesn't make any sense at all. Like, what happened, it's just they basically are prejudiced against me for shit I did like over a decade ago. It's absolutely insane that they would behave like that. It's completely unprofessional. And the fact they never even reached out to me to say, hey, we're closing your shop and here's why, or even give me a chance to explain or anything, that's completely unprofessional. They are not a good business to work with. I'm sorry. Whatever they did, again, much like with Twitch changing over the years, when you change your methodology of your business to now be all this bullshit about politics and fucking nonsense, you know, get the fuck out of here. I'm a gamer. All I want to do is play video games. You think I care about your bullshit? So why the fuck do now you're punishing me because you changed? Go fuck yourself, right? Anyway, so I haven't had merch for 3 years, over 3 years, because that was what, April of 2021 is like when all this shit went down, okay? Now, in the meantime, I've looked to possibly get merch again, because now, over the years, people ask from time to time, hey, will you get merch? And I'm like, well, here's why. I don't have it. I got kicked off Teespring with no notice, nothing. And I would guarantee you that if I was to work with another business, it would be the same. And it's not that I haven't tried. For example, I already told the story earlier this year, another business reached out to me. And they were like, so we're a platform where you can have this whole thing for your followers. They can pledge to you and do ongoing subscription content. You could also sell merch. And I was like, I already have a Patreon. I don't really care about that other stuff, but I do care about the merch. I'd be interested in that, right? And I talked with them for about a week about it. And I kept explaining to them, listen, I'm not going to proceed setting up a shop on your storefront or anything until you look into knowing that I'm going to have this online hate mob, this black cloud following me the fuck around. And they're going to come and they're going to harass you if you have products on your site that are of mine, because they've done it already to other businesses. You have to expect this is going to happen. You have to say you're okay with it. Because if I put the time and effort to setting up a storefront, uploading designs, my fans design stuff, and we put up merch, and then you shut it down within a week, you're wasting everyone's time, right? So at first, this person who I was talking to, who you could tell was just a recruiter agent for this company and didn't really understand anything about online trolling, was like, oh, how bad could it be? It's not a big deal. I was like, you have no clue what you're talking about. I want you to go search for me right now on the internet, and you're going to see how many people are A-logging me. And then I want you to come back at me and tell me you're still interested. They never responded again, because they probably went and searched and said, oh, goddamn, this guy is getting destroyed by these really, mentally stunted people. And we don't want that associated with the business. So, and that was it. That was the last time I heard from them. And that was much earlier this year. So all this going down, all right? And basically what happens is now in the last month and a half, things are changing, right? So I'm doing crossover content. I'm appearing on shows. I'm interviewing people. My reputation's different now, okay? And people start reaching out to me, and I start having conversations. And essentially through a little bit of like a grapevine deal, I was put into contact with a company that really doesn't give a shit, okay? Like, they actually just don't care about this kind of stuff. All they care about is, like, making quality product and making some money. That's it. They don't care about being, trolls on the internet and shit like this. They're just, fuck that nonsense. In fact, they even said, we're kind of used to it. There's some people who we have on our store that have that, and we don't care, okay? So I've been talking with them for a couple of weeks. And what we came down to was I sent them a very basic, I sent them like 4 files. One is like the DSPGaming logo from this channel. One was like my 15-year anniversary logo. I sent them like a fighting game logo. Okay, so I just sent them basic shit. It wasn't like anything. This was before I even had the Philomania logo, so I couldn't even send that to them. I totally would have sent that to them to test, but we didn't have it yet. So what they said they wanted to do is basically do a couple samples for me. And they were going to send me a couple free product just to look and see the quality, and we could look at it together on stream. And if we like it, then I would get back to them and say, hey, you know, yeah, let's proceed. Let's set up a storefront. I'll send you more art and logos. Let's get this thing set up. And the way it works is just like Teespring, where you guys will go to that site. You'll browse the different products that are available, the different logos and lines and designs, and you'll be able to choose what you want. You buy it directly from them. They process it. They ship it to you, and I make a few bucks. I don't even know how much. Like, I literally don't even know how much I'll make on each sale, considering the fact I had such a low profit margin over on Teespring. I wouldn't be shocked if it's, again, just a couple bucks on each thing, okay? So, and is it international from what I'm to understand? Yes, but I haven't worked the details out yet, because what's the point of working all these details out until you get your hands on the product to see if you like it, correct? Because I'll be honest, I've seen some companies like this, and, you know, they look good, and their products are very shoddy. They'll send you the really low-quality shit, like real thin materials, or, you know, the T-shirts that are falling apart and are crappy quality. They don't feel soft or good on you. And, like, do you really want to pay $25 for a T-shirt from a company, and you get it, and the fucking logo's printed crooked and looks like shit? That's happened to me, where I've actually, in the past, years in the past, would get a company, I wanted to make my own shirt, so I would, and then they would send me the shirt, and the whole thing was off. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how'd you screw this up so bad, right? So, we have a couple products to look at today. Two shirts is what they sent me as a starter, you know, starter example. Now, keep in mind, even though they have these logos, it doesn't even mean that they're going to make products with these logos. This was the test, all right? I know for a fact you guys want Philomania. Like, this is one of the things I would absolutely use for product, and then we would see what else you guys were interested in. So we have two. First is a long sleeve ringer t-shirt. Okay, now, I'm just going to forewarn everyone, when you order these kind of products, they're fresh out of the factory, and they smell, okay? Not like the stinky sock, but they smell like paint. You know what I mean? Like that factory smell. Definitely, if you order anything like this, you got to wash it before you wear it, because you don't want to have that, you know, that smell. I got to wash these for sure if I'm going to wear them on stream, which is why I'm not wearing one today or anything. But it's always been like that. Every time I got custom product made like this, it always had that factory smell to it. You're like, ugh, got to throw it to your washer. So this is a long sleeve ringer t-shirt, all right? And as you can see, the quality of the print, it's actually, you know, it's on the fabric. It's not one of those glossy print companies, because the glossy ones, they do tend to break after you wash. This, it's actually on, look, it's on the fabric, okay? So it looks like it's a pretty good quality print. As for the shirt itself, nice long sleeve, can you hear me? Nice long sleeve shirt, all right? I believe this was a large or an extra large. What? It's a large. So the name of the fabric, it's Bella Canvas, and it says heirloom jersey. So that's the quality of the product. Now, is it super thick? No, but this is the ringer shirt. The ringer shirt isn't made to be super thick. The ringer shirt is supposed to be a lighter fabric. I have another shirt here that actually is a thicker fabric, and I'll show you that in a second, okay? So there you go. Large, DSPGaming. All right. Not to say that anyone's going to want to buy the DSPGaming logo, but it's just an example of their print quality. And I would argue that's a pretty good print quality. It's dark. It looks good. It stands out. And it's not the glossy crap that breaks up. It's actually, I don't know what they call this, the technique, but it's much better than that other technique. Okay. So there you go. So that's the long sleeve ringer shirt. Now, this is their standard t-shirt. All right. And this is a thicker fabric. I would say this one is more of a standard t-shirt quality, but it's stretchy material. So that might actually be a sell for someone, because some people don't like the t-shirts that are more coarse material. This is very soft and stretchy material. So it's the higher quality stuff, okay? So here's the thing. I sent them a few logos, and they actually made this out of the logo. Okay, now this one is extra large, okay? So it's me as Dan with DSPGaming underneath. See that? And this is a piece of art that I've had on my streams for years. Okay? And now I can use it to make shirts and stuff. Right? That's cool. So they took that Dan artwork out of a piece of art I sent them, and they made the shirt out of it, which is pretty cool. All right? So again, that's an example. This is not necessarily something that will be sold. This is an example of what would be sold on this site, okay? Again, this is Canvas from Bella Canvas. So I guess they use this company. Bella Canvas is the company that they use. I'm just curious if it says the percent of materials that it's made. 100% cotton. It's a 100% cotton t-shirt. What about this one? I think they're both 100% cotton. This, okay, the ringer is 52% cotton, 48% polyester. So the ringer shirt is a blend, okay? But the standard style t-shirt is 100% cotton, which is probably why it's the more stretchy feel to it and everything, okay? So there you go. So how does it look? Personally, I like this quality of shirt. This is a comfy shirt to me. I would want a shirt that's softer and stretchier, as opposed to one of the shirts that's more like the coarse material. And honestly, a lot of the shirts you buy are the coarse material. I don't know why. I like this one better. The print quality looks great to me. Again, it's, you know, it's printed on there. It's not that glossy style print that's probably going to break in the wash right away. This is probably going to last a while. So I like it. But again, you got to wash it before you wear it. You can smell the you can smell the print, and they're always like that. Every company I've ever ordered always smells like that out of it. So there you go. So that's the two examples, all right, of t-shirts that we'll have. And I'm sure they have many more products. I don't think they just do t-shirts. You know, they're going to probably have a lot more. Now, personally, I like these, okay? Personally. I don't know if you like them. I don't know if you'd be considering, hey, I'd be interested in buying something if you had some merch. Let me know what you think, all right? But personally, I like them, and I'm going to get back to them and be like, yeah, I actually really like the first product she sent. Let's talk further about, you know, setting up the storefront. I'll get them some more logos and stuff to work with. Definitely, I want to send them to Philomania, but I'm basically going to dive into, like, my artwork from over the years that I own. I'm all this artwork that I've been using forever that I can now make product out of, right? And I think maybe what I'll do, I'll bring back some of the classic designs. Like I said, the King's Skull design was the one that was the best seller on Teespring. So maybe I can bring that back and then have new designs as well based on all these new things, these new things that have been going on. People are just saying, yeah, Philomania hoodie. I'm sure they have hoodies. I'm sure. I'll check, but I'm sure they're going to have all this stuff, you know? And then, I mean, the key is I got to get the storefront set up. I got to have an account I can log in. I can check, you know, give them all the stuff. And then they're going to have their team work on this. And from what I'm understanding, they're going to do it for me, which is good because I don't really have time to be designing products now. I had to do all that myself on Teespring. Like, they didn't do it. They initially designed my original product line, but then they moved on. And I had to do it all myself over the years. If these guys can set up a good product line for me. And yeah, okay, so let me ask you guys. Out of all I want to get your opinions right now live. What, besides Philomania, all right, what other logos would you guys like to see as product? The Level 1 podcast has its logo. You've seen it on the screen, and you see it right now as the thumbnail of this video. Do you like the Level 1 podcast logo, and would you like to see that? Like, here it is. Would you like to see that on a shirt or a hat or something like that? Maybe what I should do is I should get a Level 1 podcast mug for myself. So as I'm doing the podcast, I'm actually drinking from the Level 1 podcast mug. I think that would be pretty cool. Yes, people are saying yes. Some people are saying yes. Outside of Philomania and Level 1 podcast, what else would you like? Me as Ken. So the artwork of me is like Ryu or Ken or something like that. Okay. One thing you got to understand, this is very important. I cannot use official licensed stuff. Like someone just said, have a logo of Cammy destroying you. You can't do that. Cammy is owned by Capcom. This is possible because this is me as Dan. You could tell that's me. That's my likeness as Dan Hibiki. That's allowed. Me dressed up as Ryu or Ken, that's allowed. Actually using Cammy, not allowed. It has to be me or my likeness or logos associated with me. You can't be like, I can't have Sonic the Hedgehog running on me. It's not allowed. Okay. Bring back the old Dark Souls hoodie. I'll have to look into that. I'll definitely have to look into that. I don't remember the Dark Souls hoodie, or I have to see if I have that artwork around somewhere. The good news is, no exaggeration, I'm still using the same PC I've used for a decade. So all the artwork is on there somewhere. It's just a matter of me finding it. Okay? The villain says Jasper Kitty. Oh, I guess, I mean, that could be cool to get like a shirt of Jasper, but we'd have to find like a good picture that I could use. Like I do use there's the picture right there that I use, and you guys do like that picture of him, right? That's actually him at in the front of our house. But I have to find like a high quality picture, perhaps. Bring back the Obama red and blue design. Yeah, but Swagonito, remember that one? It said, it was my face and it said hate, and it's the old me before I even had a beard. Like, that's so outdated. No one's really going to understand that reference. I don't do that stuff anymore, right? Andre the DJ says, I would buy a Jasper-inspired plush animal toy or figure. I'll have to see. Again, I'm not 100% on their product line. I don't know what they sell yet. I knew they sold shirts, and I think they do mugs and stuff like that. So now I'm going to go back to them and be like, hey, your samples are good. I'm interested. Let's talk about product and storefront, all that, and I'll get back to you guys on more information on this as I have more of it, okay? Mia's M. Bison. That would be kind of cool, but they would have to, I guess they'd have to figure out how to do that, right? Like, they'd take a picture of me and maybe superimpose, like, turn me into, like, M. Bison. That would be kind of neat. The Jasper emo isn't high quality enough. I'd have to get them, like, a real HD picture of Jasper. I'd have to figure out, you know, a good one. Jasper with a crown edited in. A Burnell family logo with me and Cat. Well, I actually have 15-year anniversary logo with me and Cat, drawn as like cartoonish, and it's really nice. And that's one of the ones I gave them, but they didn't do anything for the samples with that. But I think that would be a nice one people might like. Yes, I already showed the merch. I'll show it again. Here's the Ringer tee, long sleeve Ringer tee, and this is the cotton polyester blend shirt. Okay. Large. And then this is the standard t-shirt with a design they came up with based on artwork I had sent them. And that's extra large. And this is a 100% cotton t-shirt. So there you go. My old DSP logo with the game controller. Oh, I remember that. That's really old. Oh, yeah. Like I said, I will definitely look into the archives of crap that I got on my computer here. I will find some of the best stuff from over the years and send them a bunch and see what they come up with. Nothing I could do slogan. I'm sure I could get, if I don't have that, I probably could, that's something that can easily be whipped up. You know what I mean? They have, like I said, they have graphic designers. I'm sure whoever's working on their team could probably just do that easily. Me as a card dealer with people like RTU and Craig sitting at a table with no chips. Well, again, you can't really use other people's likenesses. You have to use your own or whatever. You have to be careful about that stuff. You know, unlike other people who have sold my likeness without permission, it's completely illegal. You know, I'm not going to be doing that stuff. Andre the DJ says, I wonder if they could actually design a tropical button-down theme-inspired shirt. I think this is more of a company that they print on a pre-existing product. Like, I don't think they make the shirt. They buy those shirts in bulk, and then they have a factory where they print the stuff. I don't think that this company is actually making the shirts. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think that they're going to be able to do that. That would be pretty crazy. Yes, today's React Day, Alex, of course. Sunday is always React Day. Resident Evil 4 Leon DSP. That could maybe be possible, but someone would have to whip that up. Bloomkid did a super chat. A shirt of you wearing the crown with text saying the hate is back, all hail the king. All hail the king, good. The hate is back. No, again, you got to be careful with how you word stuff these days because people will literally twist it to something it's not. And as you know, I'm not a hateful person. But people might twist it into that. So you can't really have that. A picture of me holding the Project 7 gun saying, I spawn, I die. That could be cool. That would have to be a screen grab from Project 7, right? But by the way, thank you, Bloomkit. That was a super chat. And that's actually our very first super chat of the day was from Bloomkit here. Thank you, Bloomkit. Guys, we are currently almost at 400 viewers. We got 83 likes. Let's get that to 100. All right, right now, if you're here and you're chilling, you're enjoying what we're doing, please hit the like button. The engagement is key on YouTube. This is the only content I'm making for DSP Gaming today. So getting a video out with high engagement would be key. Please like the stream and please support it. Right now, we got one super chat from Bloomkit and $3 in tips, and that's it. Please support today's podcast, and let's get this tips going because we got to keep that Kings streak alive, right? We got to get back. We have to match that 41 that it was at and that we lost momentum because of stupid Black Myth Wukong, right? Let's see. Spagonito says, can we get the skeletons running design? Oh, the one where I was like, I hate skeletons or whatever. That was very old, and it didn't really sell that well. What I'm going to do, I need to look at what stuff I have already and other ideas too. And I need you guys to tell me like what's interesting, because a lot of the stuff from the past you might want, but that might sell twice and that's it, right? And then there might be stuff that's like best selling. So we have to figure out a good mix. And if there's new ideas and stuff I don't have yet, but you would like to be made, I could work with them and see if they can make it or, you know, someone else makes it, right? One with all my famous lines would be cool. A white shirt or hoodie with black letters, like, why am I toxic? Or nothing I can do. So you go, why am I toxic? Nothing I can do. The triplets line. What are the ones? Like, I got to think of all the different lines, correct? Yeah. Okay. That, I mean, RTU's last chip could be cool, but I mean, would you really buy a shirt just with this? You know what I'm saying? I mean, just a shirt with a poker chip, would that be something you would buy? What would be the context? What would you want on the shirt with the poker chip reference that would be a sellable product you would want to buy, right? This is the stuff we got to figure out. Feasting with the King. Another one interesting. We have to figure out how to make how to do it, right? Okay. All right. So thank you for. Oh, that's true. A shirt with the falling coins. I could be like this, and coins are showering, and we say we hit the streak, or the coffers are filled, or something like that. That could work. Yeah. Sure, that could work. That would be cool. A shirt with a chip and it says felted. I mean, I get that, but at the same time, let's be honest, that is more of a Kino Casino thing. That's not something that I really came up with. So, I'm sure they probably wouldn't care, but I would prefer for it to be something more of mine, right? With my 16 years of history. Okay. All right. Well, thank you guys. That's the end of that segment. I hope you enjoyed it. Hopefully you like the quality of the products. And now it seems like you guys like it, right? Like you like those shirts. They look good to you. They look good to me. And so what I will do is talk with this company further and basically see, you know, what they do. I'm actually very curious exactly what merch they make. You know, is it just shirts? Do they have more? Because I think they have mugs. I think for a fact they have mugs, but I don't know what else they do. So once I figure all that out, I can get back to you guys on exactly what we're working on, and I'll probably send them a whole bunch of logos and things that I already have accumulated, and we'll try to brainstorm some ideas together once I see what products they have. I like the idea of a shirt that has all my sayings on it. That nothing I could do. Why am I toxic? We are the triplets. You know, what are other ones? You know, we would think of different ones that we could put on there that are things that are like commonalities, right? Wow. There you go. Wow. Okay. Oh no, they have confirmed with me that they're willing to work with me. It's more of a me looking at their product quality talking with you guys and telling them that I want to do it. That's what that's what this is. It's totally on their side. They wanted to work with me. They were like, yes, we'll do it. So it's more, this is developing that trust in the product before I jump headfirst into something, you know, because just imagine if I didn't do what I just did and I just agreed right away. And then all of a sudden I start getting word from you guys. Yeah, I ordered a shirt and look, the print's completely off. It's crooked. It looks like crap. It's low quality, falling apart. Why is the shirt such a low quality shirt? And then everyone's upset. So I don't want to do that. I wanted to sample first, and the samples are pretty good, I feel. So. Okay. Good stuff. Now what I would like to do, folks, new segment, new topic. We're going to jump over to the gaming schedule for it's KFC. The gaming schedule for the rest of the year. And what I mean by that is what I would like to do is go through games that have solid release dates for the rest of 2024 and personally pick out and tell you guys the ones that I'm interested in. All right? I think this is going to be very useful to some people who are interested to know what is Phil up to, what games is he going to be playing. Because at this point, there's so many games coming out, it's hard to tell and discern between them. So first of all, Boyhood's End right here. Definitely this is one I'm playing. Wait, what? Okay. So let's go through this. So obviously today is September 15th, right? So we're already halfway through September. And I can tell you, out of all the games of September that have come out, there is one that I missed that I'm genuinely interested in. It is called The Casting of Frank Stone. It is a horror game, all right? And it ties into the lore and the universe of Dead by Daylight, right? Or is it Death by Daylight? I can't remember what it is. Dead by Daylight, is it not? I'm pretty sure it is. It looked great. We watched the trailer for it a couple weeks ago on my React show. But what happened was I got so busy with all this other stuff going on. And then I got backlogged on games. So it came out at a time when I was already playing other new games. I just didn't have a chance to even look at it. Okay. So I'm definitely interested in it. All right. And I feel like we can get around to this eventually. Maybe even towards October, like Halloween time. It makes sense. I don't know. But outside of that, I feel like everything else that came out this month, you know, it wasn't very appealing to me. Except for this Boyhood's End, maybe. But, I mean, Space Marine we're playing. So there you go. Space Marine 2. We're already playing that. That was the one that appealed to me there. And Astrobot we're playing. That's the one that appealed to me there. And, of course, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. Down here was the other one that I was interested in that I'm playing. Here it is. So that's that. So if you haven't noticed, I haven't really touched upon or played any remasters, and that's for good reason. When I'm in the midst of playing new games and I'm already inundated and backlogged and I'm not getting through them, I'm not going to start playing remasters. Remasters are if you have nothing going on and you're looking to fill a gap in time, right? Then you play a remaster. Like, for example, Lollipop Chainsaw Repop. I didn't really like that game when it was new. Like, I remember, I just thought it was kind of meh. It was very repetitive, and it had parts that were very grindy and annoying. It also had parts that were fun, but it's just kind of a stupid game. Like, it's just a dumb game that was a time killer at that time. It wasn't anything special or anything. So, you know, I'm not really interested in that. So moving on for the rest of the month here, okay? Scrolling down into where we are today, which would be the 15th, okay? I'm almost positive that there's pretty much nothing of interest really going on. I mean, look, they're porting Jedi Survivor to PlayStation 4 and, like, Xbox One. That's insane. It's a year and a half later, and they're finally porting it. That's just wild to me. So, again, Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster. I'm not saying I would never play it. I'm saying if I'm freaking already backlogged on new games that I'm not playing, there's no way I'm going to be playing that remaster now, right? Like, maybe I would do that later. Again, maybe like October-ish because it's horror themed. But I just don't think I'm going to be doing it now. Plus, I played the Dead Rising remaster years ago. I played it twice because I liked the first run is so rough. The second run's so much better, right? But I've already done it. So it's funny that, again, it's being remastered a second time within like a decade. It's just kind of stupid in my opinion. But hey, I know a lot of people like classic Dead Rising, right? So continuing on here. I really don't see... Oh, I didn't even know God of War Ragnarok was getting ported to PC. That's interesting. It probably looked gorgeous, I bet. Again, I don't really see anything that's standing out. How about the Karate Kid Street Rumble? Yes, do you remember in the Karate Kid movies when Daniel-san walked out into the streets and just started beating up, entire gangs of thugs and stuff? I remember that. Actually, I wonder if it's a fighting game. It might be a fighting game, which is worse. All right. So anyway, yeah, like you see nothing, right? There's nothing here of any interest. Here's another remaster, Epic Mickey, rebrushed for full price, mind you. That's like a $60 game, which is hilarious that they're trying to sell it again, for $60 all these years later. So yeah, no, like none of these really appeal to me at all. All right, just being honest here. Space, is this the new Monopoly? Is this actually? Hold on. Is this the new one that they were advertising? Is it finally coming out? Yeah, it is, isn't it? This is the new Monopoly game. A fresh look and improved gameplay experience. A full 3D animated city. And it's on PC too. I might get that. I'm serious. Like I might get that just for like chill nights and play Monopoly and stuff. I love Monopoly, but I haven't played it in a zillion years. I know people like Monopoly. Yeah, I mean, it might seriously be something good that people would like. I don't know. I think it would be though. Okay, we're still going. As you can see, there's like nothing. I'm serious. There's nothing for the rest of September. So likely what we'll do, all right, is we'll focus on beating Warhammer Space Marine 2. We'll focus on beating Astrobot. We'll probably do WWE Champions a bit, maybe twice a week, if not more. I'd like to do it at least twice a week, because once a week doesn't cut it. We don't get any progress in the game. Like, right now, people are yelling at me. They're like, Phil, are you aware that tons of people tried to join your faction, and you're not in the game for a week, so you don't approve it, and it just sits there? And I'm like, yeah, I don't boot it. So, so maybe we'll play that like twice a week, once during the week and once on the weekend, so that way we could like look at the weekend events and stuff. So probably that, and then I want to do some more of the MVC collection. So basically, I think that's what my balance will be for like the next week to 2 weeks, is that until Terry comes out in Street Fighter 6, and then we jump and we try Terry, and we go from there. Now, I would say the next real game that I'm interested in would be The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of what's it called? Echoes of Wisdom. Okay, so that's on the 26th. So probably that's really the next like major release outside of Terry Bogard releasing on the 24th in Street Fighter 6. Probably Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom will be the next one that I'm interested in playing on the 26th. Okay, but outside of that, Worms Armageddon, no. Looney Tunes, no. It's like nothing. Right? It's like nothing going on this month. For the rest of the month, it's pretty dry. The only other one that I known about, but they don't even have it listed here, which is pretty funny, is Starfield. Oh, here it is. Starfield Shattered Space. So this is kind of a maybe, because it's still unclear if I have access to my game file and to all the content for Starfield on PC as I did on Xbox. On Xbox, I bought the high-end edition of the game to play it early. And this is the expansion. It's coming out on the 30th, and I was curious, just jumping in and looking at it, if anyone would be interested, even if it's just a one-off stream, just to see it, because if I do have the rights to it, then I don't have to spend any money for it. Just try it, right, and see how it runs on. Apparently on PC it runs well, okay, but that's it for this month, basically. Remakes, if I feel like doing them, if I even have time for them. Maybe the casting of Frank Stone. All right, Zelda on the 26th. Well, I should say Terry Bogard on the 24th for Street Fighter 6. Zelda on the 26th, and then maybe looking at Shattered Space. All right, so that's September. October. I feel like October is a much heavier month, but let's actually get to the real dates, because you can see these all say Q4, which is not a real date. TBA is not a date. I don't know why they list these. This is so stupid. These should not even be listed here. Where are the real dates? Can I get to a real date instead of TBA? What a bunch of dummies. But they don't know how to run their site, IGN. Look, it's all fucking TBA. Dunces. Don't want TBA. I want the actual games coming out in October, and you fucked up your site because you're dumb. Look, we're still going through TBAs. Oh my god, this is unbearable stupidity. Who runs this fucking thing? It's still TBA. Wait, what is this? So their site doesn't even work. It's just a bunch of TBAs. They didn't actually update this with October dates. Wait, they did, but it scrolled me to the middle of the page. Their website, when you click on October, scrolls you to the middle of the page past the October dates. Oh. Dude, I feel like I'm on GeoCities in the late 90s right now. This is how they designed their website. What I also like is that the menu is half the page, and the content you're looking for is crushed to the bottom of the page, and there's no way to resize the menu. So the menu is forced to take up more. Look at this. I can't. This is what I want, but this is look at their menu. Fucking idiots. And they pay someone for this site, by the way. For the record, they pay someone to design this. How funny is that? All right. Okay. Hank Fritz, are you kidding me? Listen to this. Hank Fritz did a $5 super chat. He says, merch idea, do a minimalist shirt that says coffers filled, price it as $150. Meaning when people buy it, they'll buy it for a meme status that they spent $150 on a shirt, and it's the meme that you hit your goal for the day. I mean, that would be pretty wild, actually, Hank. That might be worth it for the memes, and you wonder if anyone would actually buy it. I wonder. I actually legit wonder if someone would. See, here's the thing, though. I don't know. You have to understand that I don't know how much money I make on this stuff. Like, I might only make a few dollars a shirt. So imagine someone spending $150 for that shirt, and I make like $3. So it might not make sense. It'd be one thing if it was like I was getting the money, but what if I'm not getting it, right? You have to understand that's the thing with these companies. They're going to make the vast majority of profits on these shirts, and that's okay. I'm okay with that. So I get it. The meme makes sense, but I don't know if that pricing model would make sense. Cabal just did a super chat and asked, did you ever think of doing a demo stream of upcoming games during quieter months? You can decide based on that, and it's much easier to do now that you have a gaming PC. It's a great idea. I used to do demo days back in the day. If you're not aware, that's the wrong keyboard. I used to do demo days back in the day. Back when Xbox Live on the Xbox 360 used to have frequent demos, but then they stopped doing it. Now they're like rare that you get a demo on a game console, right? You're right. It's a great idea. Thank you for that. Okay, so here is October. Okay, let's take a look. Any of these are interesting me right now? No. No, I don't care about Until Dawn Remastered. It's going to be exactly the same game. It doesn't need a remaster. So Silent Hill 2 Remake, that's definitely the first one in October I'm interested in. October 8th. That's a huge one. I'm absolutely playing that. Those are... Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero is a maybe. It's a maybe. I'm not sure. Like, I told you guys, basically, I wasn't too interested in it because I didn't feel that there's enough going on in it to diversify it from previous Dragon Ball games. And then everyone freaked out and said, I can't believe you're not playing the latest Dragon Ball game. There hasn't been one in years, and you always play them all. So I don't know. It's really up to you guys if you want to see me play that one or not. One that I'm definitely interested in is Metaphor on the 11th. Okay, I'm very much want to play it. But again, with Atlas's history, with false copyright strikes and stuff, I really don't know if I should do it. I may have to wait a few days and see if people are getting smashed with copyright issues or not. But I would be down for Metaphor for sure. Okay. Someone had mentioned this Starship Troopers game, and I don't really know much about it. "12-player squad-based co-op FPS combat." Yeah, I don't know. I don't know about that. I would say it's a maybe. I'm not sure about it or not. This Starship Troopers game, because some people had mentioned it. The thing is, it comes out the same day as Metaphor and Dragon Ball. That's definitely a maybe. I don't know. Okay. Let's see here. This Quiet Place game we had watched the trailer for. And it seems like an interesting horror idea. I just don't know if it's going to translate into a game that people want to see more than a couple times. A single-player horror adventure game inspired by a critically acclaimed blockbuster. Survive in silence. Yeah, I don't know. Especially because you know it's probably going to be just basically sneaking. Because that's the whole idea of the movie, is that you have to be quiet, right? It's probably just sneaking around trying to survive, and I don't know how well that'll translate into a game, but that's a maybe, I would say. I am aware that there's a new Mario Party game, but I'm not sold on it. I don't know if people would really like it or not. If I get it, I would probably just play it online or whatever, like with randoms. Over 110 mini games are available to play. 20 players go head-to-head in the Koopathlon mode or whatever. So that's a maybe. Mario Party is a maybe for me. Let's see here. Don't really care about the Ninja Turtles at this point. I didn't miss anything, right? I didn't skip anything there by accident. I thought Call of Duty is coming out around this time, but I don't see it right now. Smurfs. There you go. Here it is. So obviously, Black Ops 6 is a yes. I played the demo or the beta, and I actually like the game. And it runs absolutely beautifully on my PC. And it runs at 120 frames, and I was kicking major ass with the Elite 2 controller. So yeah, absolutely, I'm playing that. And Sonic X Shadow Generations, yes, I'm interested in that. You know, it's not just Sonic Generations. It now has all this new content with Shadow. So yes, there too. Those two is a definite yes for me. Okay. And Life is Strange Double Exposure, yeah, I'm actually very interested in that. The original Life is Strange was great. Okay. And then Life is Strange 2 was terrible. And then the prequel was terrible. Life is Strange True Colors actually was a pretty good game. So I'm looking forward to this one, to continuing the story of, what's her name, Max Caldwell or whatever. Years later, she's grown up and how her life has changed, but she still has these powers to shift time or whatever. So, yeah, I'm actually very interested in that one. I genuinely am. So, and I think that's all of October, correct? Yes. All right, so basically, October is going to be a pretty interesting month, right? So we start off with the Silent Hill 2 remake, and then it'll be Metaphor and probably Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. Maybe the Starship Troopers game. I'm undecided, but it's a maybe. Maybe the Quiet Place game, maybe not. Maybe at this time also I'll play that Casting of Frank Stone. Maybe the Mario Party game, I'm not sure. And then definitely Call of Duty and Sonic X Shadows and Life is Strange Double Exposure. Okay? And also, by the way, I am aware that Dragon Age Veilguard also comes out on Halloween. And that's absolutely, I'm considering it. I like Dragon Age. Dragon Age Inquisition was my game of the year many years ago. Just on curiosity's sake, I think perhaps Dragon Age Veilguard makes sense, even if I end up not liking it. But it's a strong possibility. Okay? So there you go. I received a $2 tip. Thank you, guys. This is the first tip that I got in over an hour. So thank you for that. You scrolled by Kill Knight. It's probably the best game on the list. What is Kill Knight? I don't know what Kill Knight is. I'll scroll back up and look for it. I don't know what that is. Anyone know what Kill Knight is? I've never heard of it. Kill Knight? Where the hell is it? Kill Knight. An ultra-responsive, arcade-inspired, isometric action shooter condemned to eternal sufferance deep within the void of an eldritch arena. You must wield an arsenal of devastating weaponry to obliterate swarms of otherworldly horrors and master the demon within. Oh, this looks like... This kind of looks like Hades. Does it not? It looks like Hades. I mean, if that's the case, then I'm probably just going to play Hades too, right? Because it looks like the same game, only with, demons instead of, like, Greek mythology. It's same premise though, right? Oh, by the way, Amplitory, the $2 super chat says Barbie Project Friendship comes out on the 20th. Well, that I don't have to even mention because I'm playing it, right? Like, you know that I play every Barbie game. So, there you go. Oh, it's just Amplitory, by the way. Okay, thank you, Amplitory. All right, so that's October. November. Yeah, it doesn't even bring you to where you're supposed to be. What a dumb website this is. Oh, let's see here. So this Mario and Luigi Brothership is basically a remake, right? Isn't it? Or is it a new one? Is it brand new? Or is it a remake? I can't even remember. No, I guess it's new. It's been a long time since they made a game like this in the Mario and Luigi saga, right? I'll leave it open to a maybe. I don't know if you guys would want to see that or not. Someone had mentioned to me this ant game, Empire Ants, but isn't it more like a sim game? How to sim life as an ant? What the hell is that? Yeah, it's literally just ant sim, right? Let's see. Oh, Slitterhead. Yeah, this is the game where basically Japan has been overrun with demons that are possessing people, and you're a creature, hopping from body to body, fighting off the demons. It looks pretty unique. Yeah, the company that started Silent Hill and Gravity Rush. Yeah, it looks pretty unique to me. So this is definitely a possibility. Slitterhead is interesting to me. Okay. Assassin's Creed Shadows. If I get it, I'm going to do exactly what I did with Star Wars Outlaws. I'm just going to get Ubisoft Plus again for a month. Get it and see if I like it. Because, man, I'm so happy that I did that with Star Wars Outlaws, which I played for one day, and we all were so bored to tears of the game that I never played it again. Right? Also, it's hilarious that every game that I've played on PC since I got my gaming PC in early August has run well, except Star Wars Outlaws. That's the one game that was just not optimized, and it ran like crap no matter what I did. So, that's just funny to me. It's a giant effing company in Ubisoft, and they have no clue how to even make a game, right? Yeah. Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D remake. I personally want to play, but I don't know if it will fit into the fall schedule. But that's something that's like my own personal preference. I love the Dragon Quest games, and I would love to play Dragon Quest 3 with all of you. I think it would be great. Let's see. Funko Fusion. So many people have been talking to me about this game. So many people have been saying you got to play Funko Fusion, right? I mean, there's Orko from He-Man. It's going to have so many tie-ins. Look, Jurassic Park or Jurassic World. Battlestar Galactica. Hot Fuzz. The Mummy. Nope. Back to the Future. Good Lord. Chucky. What the hell is this? The Umbrella Academy? Oh, I don't even know what Umbrella Academy is. That's why I don't know what that is. All right. So basically what it is going to have all this pop culture references in it, right? That's coming out in November, apparently. Oh, look, they rated it a 4. It's dull combat and repetitive mission. Means just like your Funko Pop collection, it's probably best left on the shelf. Wow. They think it sucks. There you go. I guess it's a no then. I don't know. Let's see here. Oh, I definitely 1,000,000%. We're going to get Flight Simulator 2024. Number one, you would think this would be on Game Pass, right? Probably. But, dude, we had so much fun with Flight Simulator a couple years ago during the summer. And I know this will be perfect for chill night streams. But imagine it's new. So it's going to look great on the PC. We're going to be playing the best version of this game. We're going to be flying all around the world. Checking out all kinds of different things. And it's going to be so cool. People are going to be able to, like, to vote on, like, where you want to go next and stuff. Which will be really neat. I think it's going to be a really fun game. Nice chill streams of it. Stalker 2 is a maybe for me. I never liked the original Stalker, but you guys are probably going to want to see me try that. Hacked the Streamer. Of course I'm playing it. And I see now nothing has dates, so none of these actually are coming out in November. So honestly, November is much lighter than October as of now. So I would probably say maybe Mario and Luigi Brothership. Okay. Slitterhead. Assassin's Creed Shadows. Maybe Dragon Quest 3, but it may have to hold off. We'll see. And definitely Flight Simulator. And maybe Stalker 2. And then that's probably it, right? That's probably it for the month. Now, in December, there's very little right now with release dates, but I absolutely am going to be playing Marvel Rivals for a bit. I liked the beta that I played. I thought it was quite good, and I'm sure they're going to refine it and make it better by the time it comes out. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, yes, I'm going to be playing that. And that's really all that has release dates right now, right? So here's the thing. There's going to be ample opportunity during these time frames. If there's weeks with too few games, then I can actually do filler content like some of these remasters that I'm not playing right away. Dead Rising Remaster. I could do Epic Mickey Remaster, right? That would be the time to interject those kinds of filler games. I could always go back to games that I never finished. Like I told you guys, I'm eventually going to play Sea of Stars. I'm telling you, I am going to eventually go back and play Sea of Stars. I don't know when, but I definitely want to go back and play it. I actually really liked the game, right? And also keep in mind, there'll be other content going on. I'm going to be trying to do some interviews, right? I might be doing some appearances on other people's shows. There may be opportunities for different things going on, all right? Also keep in mind, on Halloween, I do a Halloween marathon where I dress up in costume and play horror-themed games all day that you guys nominate, so that's definitely happening. And also keep in mind that Christmas, I do a marathon. And we do all themed games that you guys nominate, and I dress up in different Christmas sweaters, and we have food and drinking and all kinds of fun stuff. So all that stuff is still coming up this year. It's going to be great, okay? I think this fall will be amazing because I have this PC. I get to play the best versions of games. And like, for example, for the Halloween marathon, like, I've opened myself up to a whole new realm of games, all these PC games I never could play. And I'm sure you guys are going to nominate a ton of PC-centric horror games for me to play on Halloween, right? So it's going to be very neat. But I consider playing Terraria again. I don't even remember playing it the first time. So if we ever were to do like an indies event or something like that, yeah, absolutely, I would consider Terraria. Considering I don't even remember what it was, you know, when I played it all those years ago. It's been so long. What's up, Game Boy? How you doing? Okay. All right. So hopefully that gave you guys an idea of what you can expect for at least like the rest of the year here. And the idea, you know, that's general. There's always other games I can play. The sky's the limit now because I have every console. I have a gaming PC. I can play whatever I want. All right. So the potential is there for many different games. It's just that's the general idea for the new releases coming out. I hope that you found some use out of that video because particularly someone had just requested that of me. Okay. All right. I have received a $5 tip. That is the biggest tip of the day from an anonymous tipper. When your gaming schedule isn't heavy, now that you have a PC that can handle it, would you consider doing VR games? I think that it would make for an entertaining stream. It would make Flight Simulator even better. The thing about VR games, which I've said this many times before, all right, there's two reasons why I don't dabble in VR anymore. I did buy the PlayStation. Wow, this site is frozen. Play by animation? It actually did, but the site is frozen again. I don't know what's going on with this site. It's been so laggy recently. So I bought PSVR when it was new. Now, this was many years ago. PSVR was 2016, so it's like 8 years ago, right? And when PSVR came out, I actually really enjoyed it for about 2 months, all right? And I played a lot of different games. I played the Batman game. I played Job Simulator. I played the Until Dawn on-rail shooter. I played the game that was basically like a tech demo where, one, you were underwater in a cage, a shark was coming at you, and then there was the heist where you're like doing a bank robbery, you're shooting and stuff. And I did a few more than that too. I can't remember all of them, but essentially, all right. Oh, I haven't updated the schedule in days, huh? Oops, I guess I should update that right now. I have not updated the schedule in days. Wow. I'll answer your question while I update the schedule, okay? So I liked it. for about 2 months. But then what happened was the gimmick of it kind of wore off for me. Number one, wearing a VR headset at least 8 years ago, that PSVR headset was not super comfy at all. It was a little heavy, and it created this condensation and sweat inside that made your whole head sweat, and it was very uncomfortable. Okay? So that was number one, is that it just wasn't comfortable to wear for extended periods of time. Number two, certain games actually got me sick. I remember, I particularly remember this one game that was supposed to be like this artistic game about the world had ended, and all that was left on the planet was like a bunch of mutated humans, and there were like the devil and God were still alive, but they were like symbolic. It was a really weird artistic game, and it was creepy, and I liked it, but I kept getting sick playing it. Like, I kept feeling like I had to barf. And I was like, dude, like, why? I wonder if the games are better than that now. You know what I mean? All these years later. But it just wasn't, like, it wasn't worth what I was, like, the money invested didn't really make sense compared to the games that I was playing. And by January, Resident Evil 7 came out. I played Resident Evil 7 and I loved it. And then I put on the VR headset and I played it in the VR headset for like an hour, 2 hours. And I was like, so the advantage is it's first person and you're aiming with your head by looking. And that's it. It feels like you're playing the same game. So it didn't really add too much new stuff to make it any much better. And at that point, I was like, I didn't really like it. Now, here's the thing. Okay. Hold on. Okay, I think I got the schedule. Let me save it. I think the schedule should be correct now. My apologies because I haven't updated the schedule in many days because I wasn't checking it because my PC had that issue on Friday with Discord, and then I didn't even have the window open. But I think the schedule should be correct now if you want to try it again. So what was I saying? Oh, VR. So after that whole VR thing, what happens is in 2017, I became a full-time streamer. So now it's not just about me making offline videos anymore. It's about me having an interactive audience where I can talk with you and do shout outs and have conversation. And that's a major part of most of the content that I make. There's a couple exceptions where I'll play certain games that are like super, super like attention grabbing, or I have to focus on the game solely. But let's be honest, for the most part, everything I do is more social and interactive now. If I have a giant VR headset on my head, right, and I'm immersed in a game in first person, how could I ever see you guys, talk with you, or do shout outs? I just couldn't. Right? Now, some have said, oh, well, you can, some of them have the ability to have the chat on your screen. Well, I get that. But number one, tips don't come through chat. Number two, that kills the VR experience. That's like, what's the point, right? So I just haven't found that VR would really be anything that would fit into my content these days, right? And to be quite frank, there have now been how many types of VR? You got your PSVR, your PSVR 2, you got your Meta Quest, you got your, what's the other big one? There's the other big one for PC too, and I can't remember exactly what it is, right? But all of them have all these games. Is there a single killer app for VR that you can think of that has been a must-play experience that I have missed because I'm not doing VR? Right? Can you think of a single one? I mean, arguably the only game that anyone has ever really said, oh, this is the one, was Half-Life Alyx, right? Like, that's it. Every other game is like, it's all right. And that's it. So would it have been worth it for me to buy all this equipment, get it working? Now I can't interact with my chat to do this playthrough of one game. Boneworks? I don't know what Boneworks is. A couple people have now said Boneworks, but I've never even heard of that. And that's the point I'm making. If VR games had actually made it to the realm of games that are so good that they're getting nominated for Game of the Year, that they're getting rated incredibly highly, then I'd be like, dude, I am missing out because I'm not doing VR. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm actually cheating myself of great gameplay experiences because I'm not doing VR. So I need VR. It's actually been completely the opposite. Right? It really has been, where VR is always the fringe thing, the thing on the outside, that it's there if you want to do it, but it's just not a big deal. It needs more equipment. It needs a better setup. It needs to have a different kind of thing going on than what I do. So it's like, is it really worth it? No. Maybe if that changes, if killer apps do come out, right? And there's great games that I'm literally missing, and I can't believe that Phil would skip this game when he loves games like us. It hasn't happened. VR has remained a fringe thing. And it's funny because when VR was being pushed so hard by games journalism 8 years ago, when PSVR was coming out and everything, oh, it's the wave of the future. It's going to change everything. And I said to everyone, bullshit. I don't buy it, but I'll try it myself. So I did. And I dabbled. I put my toe in the lake. And I said, ooh, it actually feels pretty good. But as my foot got used to being in the lake, it just wasn't that special anymore. And I realized it was just a gimmick that wears out fast. And I didn't really care anymore. I don't really think there's too many game developers out there that are working on big VR games. They know that it's a very tiny niche market. And even if they make an insanely good game, that not very many people are ever going to buy it, right? So why even bother investing your time and money and effort into a big VR game that most people will never care about or play? You know? So I think that's what happened. And it's sad because maybe if it was treated a little differently, maybe if the market was a little different, I don't know. Maybe it could blow up, but it just never has. You know it exists, but does anyone clamor for it or get hyped for it? Or no, like literally no, right? Tell me what game right now, VR game, is coming out in the next few months that everyone must play and we'll be talking about. It's just kind of a thing, you know? And again, I'm not trying to hate on it or anything at all. I just don't see it being a big deal or something that I need to really dabble in until there's something worth playing, and I'm not aware of that, right? Valve has one called Valve Index as well. I know there's the big three. The big three are PSVR, Meta, or MetaQuest, and the other one, because the other one is the one that you don't have to have worse graphics. Like MetaQuest is standalone, but the graphics are terrible. Remember, we were watching the video of the new Riven version, the remake that I just played. But remember, we were watching the video of it, the VR versions, and it was like, here's the standard version with great graphics, and the game looks absolutely amazing. And then here's the MetaQuest version, and it looks like you're playing on like PS2. It's like, what? So do you really want to play VR to be, virtual reality first person, awful, watered down, no detail graphics? Probably not. Valve is being rumored to make another one. Okay. All right, so guys, we're almost done. FYI, I got to be out of here within 5 to 10 minutes because I got to go set up for the React show. So what I'll say is this. Thanks. You've been a great audience. If you haven't noticed, this was a very chill podcast today, right? And no drama. We had a good time. We have 114 likes. Guys, if you could click the like button and get that to 150 but in the next few minutes, that would be amazing. That would help the channel because this is the only content I'm putting up on the channel today, so that would help. Thank you for the few who super chatted. We don't have any memberships today, sadly. And we're only at $10 in tips. So this is a really slow start. All right. Now, King Street, been great. It's been amazing. It's helped me tremendously. It has. I would like to keep it going. If it continues, I can continue to do things that will help me out. For example, these things that I've told you about. This later this month when I get paid by YouTube, my wife and I are going to go look for things like a dishwasher, a new fan and light for our dining room because our light ripped out of the ceiling the other day. So we need a new one. Eventually, probably looking for like a new washer dryer. Things for the house we need because we can afford it, right? And I want to actually keep making improvements to the setup. One of the things I said is instead of migrating over to my wife's now 7-year-old outdated PC, instead maybe I could just buy a whole new streaming PC, and that could be what I stream and capture from, and then I could use the gaming PC to game. You know what I mean? But the momentum has been tremendous, and I want to keep it going. If you enjoyed this show today, if you had a good time, please support it. And, right now, the best way to do that would be tipping. All right? Tip, and then let's hit this goal. Let's keep the King Street going, and then we can celebrate. And, I don't want to have to bring it up the entire stream over there on DSP Reacts. The last few weeks during the React streams, we usually hit a big chunk of that goal before we go to the React show. Today, we're $10 in. So, it would be great right now in the last few minutes. We can get some contributions. That would help a lot. So the villain says, what about a vacation? Vacation's not in the cards right now for a couple of reasons. Okay. Reason number one, my wife and her work schedule and everything is crazy right now. We don't even know consistently when she's working, how much she's working. It's kind of a mess. It's a jumbled mess. It's not a happy mess at all. And we're working to do things like that, but there's nothing we can really do about that. It's just life, right? It's how life works. That's number one. Number two, we couldn't really go on a vacation because of Jasper Kitty. Jasper Kitty has always been with us since we got him. There's been no significant time away from Jasper Kitty, and he's afraid of other people. Like when people come over to do maintenance on the house or whatever, he freaks out and he runs away and he hides under the bed. He's very friendly with us and nobody else. He's literally scared of everybody else. But can you imagine? Let's go on a vacation for 2 weeks and we go and poor Jasper Kitty now gets traumatized because we're away for 2 weeks and someone else has to take care of it. We'd probably have to go to one of those board things. You can shelter your cat for a couple of weeks, but that's not, he's used to being in an open house all day long, right? So that's not going to work. He's going to be, it's going to mess him up. So, in that regard, I think if we were to ever do a vacation, like, to be honest, yeah, it would be great to finally have a honeymoon, but I don't think we could do it right now. I think that's something that's long-term. You know what I mean? Like many years down the line when things, in a time of transition, that maybe we could squeeze it in or something when it makes sense. But right now it's just not in the cards. It's not. What could be in the cards, all right, is a staycation. And what I mean by that would be, let's say this level of support that I've been getting, the increase in super chats and memberships and tips, it keeps going, for months. Right now, it's been about a month, okay? If it continues, then I'm like, wait, maybe we could take a whole week off to stay home, but do things we've wanted to do for ages. We could have a day where we just go out and we do some shopping and we get a nice dinner together. And we're not worried about, we have to rush to this appointment. We have to go grocery shopping today. We have to do this stupid chore. Instead, it's just several days where we get to spend time together, right? Work on stuff. And my garage is a mess. My garage, I've wanted to clean out years, and I just don't have time. You guys should clean out the garage and repurpose it to have room to do things, right? That's what, just having time with my wife and the family, that's important to me, and that's something I never get, right? So maybe that could be what it is having actual time off from streaming for several days to spend time with my wife would be amazing because we don't get to do that. And we'd finally have that, and that would be cool. But I need to get to that point. Right now, it's like the first steps that we're talking about are the necessities that we've had things broken around here for ages that we couldn't afford that we want to do. So I think the dishwasher has been broken for 2 years. That's probably a big thing. That's probably number one. And then after that, we systematically pick at other things around the house here and here, and go from there. So, but anyway, yeah, please support the streams, guys. It's helped so much, and we keep that rolling. It's going to be amazing. It's like I said, it really can be life-changing if it continues. So, thank you to Daniel United 115, a 10 euro super chat. It says, would you give Alien Rogue Incursion a go, even if it's on VR? Again, I said I'm not interested in VR. I haven't heard of many games that are worth playing, so I don't think that VR makes sense. And plus, it would mean ignoring my audience. So unless it's not VR, probably not. If it was not VR, right? Then yes, perhaps, right? I never played Flappy Bird, no. The only version of Flappy Bird I ever played is, I guess, whoever bought the rights to it turned it into an arcade game. And I actually played the arcade game of Flappy Bird. But that's it. I never actually had it on my phone or played the real game. Back in the day when I remember when that drama was going down on the internet, the guy freaked out, the developer. Completely freaked out. Said, that's it, I'm not making any more updates or nothing. I quit. It's too stressful. I didn't sign up for this. Remember that? He totally freaked out. All right. Last chance. Tag me in the chat if you want to talk. Any contributions that come in, we'll get quick shout outs. But I'm now getting set up for the React show. And that's why they all hate me. They can't. And that's why they can't stand me. That's correct. They just can't stand that I'm getting set up for the React show. It really bothers them. Here we go. Playlist.
Hello, Wildcats.
Hello, Wildcats. That's the Ultra member.
I'm wearing them.
What a clip to play. What a clip to play first. That's amazing. Anyway. Okay. This is going to be random select when we play it. This is going to not be random. Okay. We got all those set up. Cool. I think we already watched this video. We did watch this video. Oh, man. This guy probably doesn't realize we already watched this video. Well, I'll have to explain that during the show. Okay. If GTA 6 get a significant enhancement with PS5 Pro, would I buy the new console? I still don't know. I don't know. Is it worth it to buy a whole console for one game? Like I said, if Sony came out and was like, so the PS5 Pro's coming out this fall, and by the way, here's an amazing lineup and slew of games that are going to utilize this thing right away that you need it for, then maybe I get it. But it's like they haven't said a word. GTA 6 is over a year out, right? Like at the earliest, it's late 2025. And what other games are you going to be playing exclusives on PS5 Pro that you need it? That, you know, there's games you've already played that are going to be like enhanced. That's not a big deal, right? All cross-platform games I'll be playing on my PC, which runs better than PS5 Pro. So I don't see the reason to get it right now. I almost feel like it's a wait situation. And then if games are announced that are coming out that need it, then I could get it then because it'll probably be readily available. You know, at first, I'm actually curious about this. I think what's going to happen is it's going to sell out right away because the scalpers are going to buy them all up again, just like the PS5s. But I don't think that the scalpers are going to be able to sell them all because people aren't going to want it. The demand's not going to be there. So then after that, they're going to be stuck with a million of these things like idiots. They're going to have to try to figure out a way to get rid of them. But what people aren't realizing is this is not COVID anymore. Okay? In COVID times, we had issues where people could not get the content, right? Or get the components. That's what I meant to say. They couldn't get the components to make the PlayStation 5, so there were shortages. There's no more shortages anymore. So Sony, if they need to make more, will just make more if the demand is there. So I don't think that the whole scalper thing will even work with the PS5 Pro besides the initial launch window. That's about it. So I'm not really too worried about that anymore. I think I'll be able to buy it whenever I want. So let's say in the middle of 2025, there's going to be a new PS5 game that's going to run much better on PS5 Pro. Then I can just go buy it, right? But do I really need to get it in November when it comes out? Like, what's the benefit? I'm not even going to play any games on it. I'm going to be playing everything on PC. So why do I need it? There you go. Exactly. Syndicator says, they said 40 games will be enhanced and that PS4 games will have boost. Yes, but the point I'm making is none of those are new games. I've already played them all. I'm not going to play them. You see? The games that will benefit are games that are old that I've already played, so I'm not replaying them just because I have a PS5 Pro now. You know? I received a $2.13 tip. Did you ever play Street Fighter in an actual arcade when you were in Seattle or somewhere? And did you ever play Another Human at arcades recently? The last time I went to an arcade was pre-COVID, if I remember correctly. And they didn't have Street Fighter, they had Tekken. And I think I played Tekken at an arcade against somebody ages ago. But that's it. Like, no, I haven't been to there's no arcades with fighting games or anything around here, and nor would I go to one. I'm not really interested in it. All right, guys. That's it for the show. Chill show today, right? Very different than the norm. I hope that you guys enjoyed. And thanks. Leave feedback, obviously, on the video here. Let me know what you think. Hopefully these segments were good. What I'll do is I'll probably pop out 2 highlights. One will be us checking out the quality of the shirts, and one will be gaming schedule update for those interested. And just thanks in general. I think it was a great show. More relaxed today, right? We didn't have to worry about drama nonsense and idiocy and stupidity. Instead, it was just a nice time together, and I had a good time with you all. All right, now remember, no gameplay today. Right now, we're going to head over to DSP React, so stick around, and you'll see the thing. It'll say, hey, click over to get over there, and you can do that. And then tonight, we're going to chill over on DSP Throwback with a nice Retro React Resident Evil 1 stream. That's going to be fun. Tomorrow, we get back to full-time gameplay with Warhammer, okay? All right. Thank you, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks to those who did support. And I will see you all over on DSP Reacts, or I will see you tomorrow for another fun edition of Level 1 Podcast. Peace out, everybody.